So we're going over this panel of left-wing propagandists trying to analyze why Kamala lost the election. In part one, we just looked at Cenk Uygur explode on this alleged election Nostradamus. Completely went off on him. And if you missed that one, check that video out. So now let's continue with Cenk's assessment. He's going to trash the Democrat Party because they need to be trashed. And actually, Cenk, he has some leg to stand on because he called them out over a year ago. He actually tried to enter the race himself. He entered the Democrat primary. He actually tried to go against Joe and the Democrat establishment, but it was an epic fail. Epic, embarrassing collapse. But let's listen to him completely trash the Democrat Party.
The people who are at fault are not other people. It is the candidate, Kamala Harris, the previous candidate, Joe Biden, Democratic Party, Democratic leadership. You guys don't want to admit that they're the problem. They're the cancer in the Democratic Party. So you blindly lash out at the voters, at information, at social media, and you want to shut down anyone who disagrees with you. That's not the correct answer. There are three wings of the Democratic Party. There's the establishment wing that the great majority, almost everyone on television supports and kisses the ass of and does propaganda for. That wing has led to disaster. They lost to Donald Trump twice, nearly lost to him 3 times. And then the other wing is called the progressive wing, but those are two different sets of people. In the progressive, so-called progressive wing, what you have is the identitarian left, the people who do what the right wing would call woke politics and identity politics, and that is disastrous. That's what the trans ad was at the end, and it cost us. The most popular part of the Democratic Party is the populist left. That is the Bernie Sanders 2016 campaign. That part says, let's do super popular economic proposals like paid family leave, higher minimum wage, universal health care, public option. Let's do all of these things. And the establishment goes, no, our corporations don't want that. Our donors don't want that. So we'll just do identity politics. And maybe identity politics will unite the left. But it didn't. Identity politics led to disaster. It was a poison within the Democratic Party, used ironically by the establishment Democrats because they didn't want to talk about popular proposals that we have because their donors hate those proposals.
Okay. He does have some valid points. He's right about the establishment. The Democrat establishment, who hold all the power in the Democrat Party, they select their candidates. They are afraid to let their own constituents vote. First of all, that's why they have the super delegates, because if the voters are voting the wrong way, they just use the super delegates to push it back in the way that they needed to, like Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders, for example. In 2012, they intimidated any Democrat for running against Barack in the primary. 2016, they straight up cheated. Donna Brazile and left-wing media, they straight up cheated Bernie Sanders when he was gaining momentum against Hillary Clinton, along with the super delegates, of course. Then, right now, look at what they did. Instead of having an open convention, doing a last-minute national primary, no, they selected their candidate. They selected Kamala Harris without a single vote, and they've been getting beat. They're choosing losing candidates, and this is the establishment. Now, you got the progressive wing, these woke activist freaks, talking about trans and the kids, gay this, gay that, black this, black that. They're the garbage of the Democrat Party, but unfortunately for the Democrats, they're also the face of the Democrat Party, so you can easily just point to them and say, this is what you're getting. When you vote for this, you're getting a bunch of woke activist freaks parading around, shaking fake titties at the White House, smoking weed in the White House, in California trying to pass rights to take children away from parents who don't want to trans them, passing laws for abortion and night month, even though they want to admit that too. Stuff like that. This is the extreme left-wing arm of the Democrat Party, but also the face of the Democrat Party. Then this guy was talking about the populist wing. Here's the thing about the populist wing. They're weak because Bernie Sanders, who called himself a revolutionary and all that, he was a weak revolutionary. This guy got completely ran over by the Democrat Party. It folded, completely folded. They cheated him. He knows they cheated him. Then he came out and endorsed Hillary Clinton. Weak as hell. AOC, she was supposed to be in that wing, in that populist wing. She came in there talking trash, banging on Nancy Pelosi's door. And next thing you know, she's hanging out with Nancy Pelosi. Nancy Pelosi cracked a whip on her. And all of a sudden, AOC is part of the establishment now. So this populist wing, even though he's promoting it like, oh, this is who we need, these guys are weak as hell. Now let's look at Harry against Pierce Morgan. I was just speaking about trans rights. So this guy is pushing the notion that, well, Kamala lost because, you know, there was misinformation about Kamala wanting to trans prisoners because Trump did it too. Then he was also talking about the tactic of calling Trump a Nazi. That wasn't wrong. See, it wasn't the Democrats conjuring it up. They were just repeating what Trump's advisors said, even though they cried Nazi and fascist every single day. No, it wasn't the Democrats doing it, and they weren't wrong at all. Let's take a look at him, and then let's look at Cenk going after Harry for kissing the establishment's ass, for kissing Kamala's ass, not admitting that she was an absolute garbage candidate.
At some point, you've got to recognize that most average Americans just found all that stuff complete bullshit. And that's one of the reasons you lost. And you've got to move on from it. If you come back with another woke progressive platform in 4 years' time, you will be out of office potentially for 4 more, 8 more, maybe 12 more years. I promise you. Take it to the bank.
So, Pierce, I agree to a degree, but not in the way that you're framing it. I think that we do have to move on from a lot of the culture war stuff. I don't like the word woke, but I understand the context of you using it. I think that, yes, and to some degree we have to move on. But by moving on, we shouldn't throw people under the bus. We shouldn't say, oh, trans people are the reason why, or LGBTQ plus people are the reason why. That's not the reason why.
Nothing was her fault. These guys have learned nothing from this L. They're sitting here arguing with each other, and they're all wrong. All completely wrong about everything they're saying. So keep it up, and in 2028, you're going to take another L.
Harry, I know that the same policy was under Donald Trump, but that's not disinformation. That's for our candidate to go out there and clarify that and to fight back and to make her case. But she refused to make her case. She barely did any interviews. They were all incredibly structured to protect her fragile ego. All she did was talking points. Donald Trump's out there, sometimes like a maniac, but a lot of times looking like a real person at McDonald's and with a garbage truck. And our side goes, oh, that's terrible. No, it's not terrible. Those are great photo ops.
It was brilliant.
When our guy is a corporate talking robot, that is not helpful. We are misdiagnosing the case here. You're falling into their trap. And what happened, as Pierce can attest to, is everyone else on the left screamed, transphobe, fascist, Nazi. Let's dig in on our least popular position. That was terrible politics.
Totally agree with that.
Democrats only think in terms of identity, but that's not working anymore. The number one identity people care about is not Latino, black, or white. It's class.
The craziest part about this whole thing is Cenk was the voice of reason. When Cenk Uygur is the voice of reason, you have a panel of trash. And that's what these guys were. Absolutely left-wing, deranged idiots talking complete nonsense. So let me know what you guys think about these meltdowns, this Nostradamus, soy boy over here kissing Kamala's ass. Like, share, and subscribe if you want more honest conservative commentary. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.